together with all of you uh, because I came to Sri Lanka since 2011. And started to study Theravada Buddhism because everybody agrees that Theravada Buddhism is the foundation of all the Buddhist traditions on the earth. That is why I have really thought much of the significance of learning Theravada Buddhism. So without a rigid foundation, we cannot understand we cannot grasp or even we cannot understand the entire picture of the Buddhist history all over the world. So that is why I really I will pay the respect to for those who who have dedicated the life for preserving the Buddhist tradition in this country, especially, including especially the members of the servants of the Buddha. So I really, really appreciate this wonderful opportunity. Then, I also also I would like to pay the respect to the Mahasanghas of this country. The Theravada Buddhist Mahasangha in this country undoubtedly have been undoubtedly the backbone of the spirituality of this uh, country. So, I really I feel very, very wonderful to have a great opportunity at the end of the year of this year. And I would like to move to today's the session. Now, I would like to share uh, the, the, the today's presentation. So today, so I would like to talk about the stories and sayings from Zen Buddhism. Now I found that there are several books concerning Zen Buddhism in this country as well. I found in bookshops, uh, yeah, in Sinhala, the Japanese Zen stories, Japan Zen Kata, or uh, Zen Zen Bodhu Kata, Zen Bodhu Kata, both are written in Sinhala. Even in English, this is also available in Sri Lanka. Then the taming of the bull, written by Walpura Rahula Mahatera. So Walpura Rahula Mahatera had been invited to Japanese Buddhist University, maybe I think the late 1950s or so, excuse me, 1970. According to this book, the Valpura Lafra Mahatero has been invited to one of the Zen University in Japan, October 1976. At that time, Valpura Lafra Tero delivered a sermon under the topic of the comparison between the jhana in Theravada Buddhism and the dhyana in Zen tradition. This this is recorded in this book, so this is available on the bookshop. The publisher is the Godage bookshop, so it's very wonderful book. However, it is very difficult task to speak about the Zen stories because of several reasons. First, I would like to mention some of the features of Zen Buddhism, borrowing the sayings from the author in Japan, whose name is Nitobe. His book is Bushido, The Soul of Japan. Zen is the Japanese equivalent for the dhyana, which represent human effort to reach through meditation zones of thought beyond the range of verbal expression. Yeah, this is quite interesting because, as we all know, that the Patama jhana, or there are four kinds of jhana, right? The Patama jhana, Dutiya jhana, or Tatiya Chatuti. And if you deepen the jhana stage, the verbal expression will be disappear. So that means the Vitakka Vichara. Vitakka Vichara is a two cetasika in Abhidharma classification of mental components. Is called as a Vachi Sankara. Vachi Sankara is the Sankara of verbal phenomena. So accordingly, in Japanese Zen also think much of the significance of beyond the verbal expression, the meditation stage beyond the verbal the range. So that is expressed in Nitobe himself. Then its method is contemplation, and its purport, as far as I understand it, to be convinced of a principle that underlies all phenomena. Yeah, all phenomena. Yeah, all phenomena. In this case, this word of sankara or sansara. Sansara is just like a conditioned word. So we also agree that our ultimate goal is to beyond the samsaric world, to beyond this conditioned world. So, and this means the old phenomena. And if we can, of the absolute itself, and that's to put oneself in harmony with this absolute. So get along with the absolute. This is the, I hope everybody will agree to this understanding of Zen Buddhism as a general Buddhism. Thus defined, the teaching was more than the dogma of the sect, and whoever attains to the perception of the absolute raises himself above mundane things and wakes to a new heaven and a new earth. This is very commonly said in Buddhist tradition. To a new heaven and new earth means, so if you are awakened, yeah, the definition of awaken is a bit controversial because sometimes it's different from the definition of the Pali Canon. But anyway, we say if we attain the non-verbal stage, we can experience the new heaven and new earth. Yeah, this is okay. This is the outline of Zen Buddhism. Then I would like to make sure this fundamental principle of Zen Buddhism before appreciating the stories and the Zen stories and saying of Zen Buddhism, because the saying of the Zen Buddhism is full of contradiction. Yeah. So normally the saying of Zen Buddhism reject the logical thinking. And actually, there is several reasons. Yeah. Okay. I will go through one by one. Non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication. So we talk together. This is a kind of our style of communication, but our communication is more than that. There must be some non-verbal communication. Yeah, I will not talk about any extra psychic communication, but it's okay to include them. But anyway, we are using not only verbal but also body languages, and we understand how how others understand me, or how I understand you beyond the verbal level, and accept. So that's why, that is the reason why we Zen Buddhist people don't trust the verbal expression so much. So we don't, because the words or letters are just the just the figures. So that's why we don't trust any. We don't trust on the absolute the value of the verbal expression. Then accepting perfection of the truth as an integrated contradiction, the perfection of the truth. So this world is full of perfection of the truth. We are here and now as it is, as we are perfect. But we don't understand that because of delusion. This is the basic standpoint of Zen Buddhism. So this universe is a perfect, the perfect. The world is perfect. The universe is perfect. But we don't understand the fact because of ignorance. So that is the basic standpoint of Zen Buddhism. So that's why we call what we call integrated contradiction. Our life is full of contradiction. That's why we suffer. Our life is full of suffering. But the fact is not. The world is perfect as it is. So we need to understand how perfect this universe is. This is the one of the aim of the Zen Buddhism. And abandoning the deluded thinking. This is we agree that we have to overcome the avidya. Next, understanding with direct perception through the all senses. Mm. This is also emphasized in Theravada Parikanon as well. Buddha himself talked about it again and again. The direct perception without any deluded mind or the polluted mind. So that which you call the papancha, for example, or the aksara, the kiresa, or whatever. Then next, actualization of the truth in our daily behavior, as the Buddha taught. Mm. Yeah, everyone knows that it is quite difficult to attain the nirvana. Yeah. So, but how the important point is that how we encourage ourselves to progress our path. Then what Zen Buddhist people do is try to follow what Buddha did, what Buddha does. So you try to follow, because the Buddha is the greatest teacher. We also follow what Buddha does. So this is the actualization of the truth. So how Buddha thinks in this situation. So how Buddha behave in this very situation when he's in whatever, wherever. So this is the way of thinking among Buddhist practitioners. Then facing the reality, suffering of our lives as it is. So this is actually the repetition of the second. So the contradiction is the cause of suffering as it is. So because of the contradiction, we feel suffering. Yeah, why we feel the contradiction? Because of our ego. So yeah, so based on this understanding, we can proceed. The appreciating the stories. One example story, the Ota Dokan story. Oda Dokan is a builder of the castle, not only builder, but also a samurai soldier. He's a soldier. Oda Dokan, the great builder of the castle of Tokyo. As far as I know, he had lived 1400 years ago in Japan, was pierced through with a spear. His assassin. Actually, he has been assassinated, knowing the political predilection of his victim, accompanied his thrust with this couplet. Yeah, he had been assassinated by an assassin. So on the verge of his death, he expressed his feeling as one verses. Oh, how in moments like this, our heart doth grudge the light of fire. Yeah, our life is just like a blink of the light. Whereupon the expiring hero, that one great daunted by the mortal wound his side, added the light, had not in hours of peace, it learned that likely look on life. Yeah, our life is just just like a blink of light, just like just like a thunderbolt, which disappears one moment. We need to understand the reality, uh, especially compared with the greatness of the universe, greatness of the truth. Our life or our ego is quite trivial. So, understanding of this fact, or the Dokan accepted his destiny. So there is even a sportive element in the courageous nature. This things which are serious to ordinary people may be but play to the valiant. Hence, in all warfare, it was not at all rare for the parties to conflict, to exchange repertory, or to begin a rhetorical contest. Combat was not solely a matter of brute force. It was as well intellect engagement. Yeah, actually, this is a fact. So we also have to accept that even Buddhist countries, the war, the violence would not cease. But we have to live as a Buddhist in this contradicted world. So we have to face difficulties. Sometimes we also would be a victim of this violence. In this case, just we need to face the fact and understand and accept the contradiction as it is. So Zen teachings have repeated this, how our life is just like thunderbolt again and again. Then I would like to mention the sources of stories of saying from Zen Buddhism. There is a lineage, a canonical lineage of Zen books. I would like to name four books here. Wu Meng Guan, the Gateless Barrier. So Mumonkan in Japanese. So Mumonkan. If we, yeah, so how can I use the metaphor? Mumonkan, Mum is a gate, gateless gate. If we go beyond, if we try to go beyond, there would be invisible gate. That is a gateless gate. There are so many gates in our life. Yeah, even the Buddhist practice. So the between the Putuchana and the Arya Pugala, there is a gate, gateless gate. So so the in Zen tradition, the gateless gate is a kind of the test which the masters have given to the student to test. Try to test the how deep the student attain the understanding of the teaching. and the Rinzairoku, Rinchi, the record of Rinchi. Rinchi is the name of Zen master. Then Hekiganroku, the Blue Cliff record. Shoyoroku, the Book of Serenity. These four books are the record of the saying of Zen stories. These are records of the dialogues between Zen masters and students. And other samurai literatures in Japan, such as Nitobe Bushido, as I mentioned now, Miyamoto T. Hagakure, the Book of Samurai. So the Jadi Jara Marana, Marana is the most fearful things for us. So how to face the death is a very, very important matter for all mankind. The Japanese people is not an exception as well. There are so many Zen stories which describes how Japanese people had faced the death itself. Then I would like to move to the story of the koan. Koan is a dialogue, so the canonical dialogue text. So this is the koan, and actually this is not so interesting. So that's why when I accept the offer of this opportunity, I have thought again and again how I can present the saying of Zen stories, and how I can attract all of you, because the Zen saying is essentially not so interesting, because there are full of contradiction, there is full of illogical description. So that's why, but that's why I have been very annoyed how to describe it very effectively. But anyway, I would like to share how I have learned the saying of Zen Buddhism according to our experience, based on my experience. So the first one is that this is actually the formula, just like a formula. This saying is just like a formula, and memorize. We memorize these stories and try to apply this formula into our actual life. But in many cases, it's very difficult to apply in daily life. Anyway, this is our practice. So the Buddha's nature in a dog. A monk asked Chao Cho. Chao Cho is a master's name. A monk, does a dog have the Buddha nature? Master answered, no, no. Another time, another monk asked them, another monk, does a dog have the Buddha nature? Chao Cho, master, answered, yes. So the master gave disciples different answers. The one disciple to the one disciples, no. Another to the another disciples, yes. So what is the point? So this is the one question. So all of the Zen practitioners know this. This is one of the most famous the dialogue in Zen tradition. Yeah. So the tradition says the that means if this is one example. Sakkaya Ditti and Sakkaya, sorry, there are two antas. The Buddha himself grasped the truth. Yeah. So this is the eternalism and nihilism should be avoided. So yes or no is a symbolization of these two extreme teachings. So this is a connotation. This is so that is what this dialogue signifies. We should not attach to the one extreme. No is one extreme. Yes is another. So that's why the no is also correct. Does the dog have the Buddha nature? No. The no is also correct. Another, does a dog have the Buddha nature? Yes. You can say yes, you can say no as well, but both are not correct. So we should not attach to the extreme ideas. That is the this dialogue signifies. Yeah. Another example. Yeah. So to the Marumpiya Sutta, the Buddha, the Marumpiya asked the question to the Buddha. So this world has a beginning or not. The world will end or not. Tathagata will live forever or not. There are several questions. I'm sorry if I'm not, I don't recollect correctly, but that question, all the questions are not correct because this is just a concept. Yes or no is an imaginary answer. So we tend to stick to the imaginary answer, imaginary yes or no, or exist or non-exist, the agree or disagree. But this is all the deluded idea. That this is actually this dialogue is placed at the very first of the book, the Mumonka. So firstly, our Zen practitioners have to learn the how to eliminate the imaginary attachment. So this is the dialogue signifies. The next, I want to move to the next. Hmm. Good day, Jushi. Sorry, the English is not correct. Good day, Jushi is good day is Zen master's name. Whatever he was asked about Zen master, good day simply stuck up one finger. So some people asked Zen master Gute about Buddhism. The master answers like this, like this. This is the master's answer. Stuck up one finger. Hmm. He had a boy attendant whom a visitor asked, "What kind of teaching does your master give?" The boy held up one finger too. Yeah, this is the Buddha's teaching. Yeah, without saying anything. Then, hearing of this, Gute cut off the boy's finger. Yeah, this is very fearful, horrible. His student, his attendant boy, was asked by the visitor, "What is your master's teaching?" And the boy answered like this, because the teacher did like this. But the master, without saying anything, cut the boy's finger. Suddenly. Then, hearing of this, Gute cut off the boy's finger with a knife as the boy ran away, screaming with pain. Gute called to him. When the boy turned his head, Gute stuck up one finger. The boy was suddenly enlightened. Yeah, yeah. Then the Gute's attendant, Gute's disciples were asked by one visitor, "What is your master's teaching?" Yeah, your master's teaching is like this. Yeah, my master's teaching is like this. But the master suddenly cut the finger, and the boy screamed because of the serious pain. Then the master came to the boy, and what the master did, just stuck out his finger. So when Gute was about to die, he said to the assembled monk, I received this one finger Zen from Tenryu. Tenryu is Buddhist master, master's master. I've used it all my life, but have not exhausted it. Having said this, he entered nirvana. Yeah, this is a quite mysterious story, but it's very difficult to understand the essence. Just according to the tradition, yeah, we all are disciples of the Buddha, and we devote ourselves for studying the Buddha's teaching. And sometimes this is very dangerous that we try to pretend to be enlightened, not enlightened, but anyway, we are inclined to pretend that we understand the Buddha's teaching, right? And so the Master Gute certainly scolded such kind of behavior of the boy. Yeah, the boy tried to imitate what the master did. We also do the same thing, just like this boy. Hmm. I have studied the Buddha's teaching for many years. I learned because the teacher said like this, and I understand because I studied the teacher's teachings. I've learned so many years. That's why I can preach the Dharma so very well. But uh, this master refused definitely. So yeah, completely rejected. Mm. Yeah, don't be afraid. We have to just imitate. Imitation is imitation. Yeah, don't be afraid. So this is the this teaching. This is the dialogue taught to us. Yeah, I also keep it in mind when I read this story. Okay, then the Heijoshin Koredo. This is another story. Chow Chow to Nanchan. This is the dialogue. What is the way? The way is just like this is exactly the meaning of the same as marga or manga in Theravada Buddhism as well. We have to go along the path. There are so many paths. There are so many explanations with regard to the path, the eightfolded path or middle path or path. And the master asked, master is asked the question: what is the way? What is the path? It is our everyday mind. Everyday mind. Everyday mind is the path. That is the master's answer. In that case, is it necessary to realize it? Hmm. Yeah, this is the very interesting question because path is a path. Path means a process, right? Process is not the process is not the purpose. Purpose and process are different usually. This is our understanding. Yeah, we need to attain the nirvana. Nirvana is a final goal. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. To attain the nirvana, we need to go through the eightfolded path. Yeah, this is very rational understanding. This is very rational understanding. But this dialogue reject such kind of attitude. Why? Yeah, the we shouldn't separate the purpose and goal in many cases. Why? If we imagine the goal, if we imagine the goal, this is not the fact, right? This is just imagination. We have to live the genuine life. We have to live our own true life. We shouldn't follow the imaginary life. We shouldn't follow the life which our brain creates. That's why sometimes we have to reject the imaginary final goal. This is the what this dialogue intended. In, yeah. Then the intention to realize the way is something opposed to the way itself. If one has no intention, how can one know that it is the way? The way does not depend on what one knows or on what one does not know. If one knows it, this knowledge is only made up of speculative ideas, only just speculative ideas. We have to go beyond that. Speculative ideas. Idea is just illusion of the uh, just illusion inside of our brain. We have to go beyond that. This is the sense. If one does not know it, this ignorance is not different from the inanimate things. If you get to the state of non-doubt, you will see in front of you an unlimited universe in which things are only one. How can one discriminate in this undiscriminated world? Okay, so I prepared several stories of the the Zen saying. Yeah, I can't introduce all of them, so I will touch the several of them. So this is the Lankavatara Sutra. Lankavatara Sutra has been preserved by the Zen traditions. According to the legend, Bodhidharma Acharya preserved this sutra, and he came to the China and established the Zen schools. And the story itself is very common. Be not like the one who looks at the fingertip. Yeah. So the fingertip. The fingertip and the moon's simile, right? The moon is a simile of the truth. If the master points at the moon, don't be dragged attention to the fingertip because the truth is the moon. That is the actually this kind of simile can be found. I think among the Theravada teaching as well. Yeah, I think so. But anyway, what is the fact? Now we are trying to understand the meaning of the sutra as just like a literature, right? Just like the understanding inside the brain. The description of sutra is just a fingertip of the Buddha. Don't look at the fingertip. We have to the truth itself. We have to see the Dhamma. We need to keep it in mind. This is the intention of the saying of the saying. This is actually described in the sutra, Lankavatara Sutra. As all of most of you may know that Lankavatara Sutra. Lanka means the Sri Lanka. In the Sri Lanka, the Buddha came to the Sri Lanka and preached the Dharma to the King Ravana. That is the storyline of the Lankavatara Sutra. This is the one of the important sutra among the Zen traditions. And the Lin Chi, the records of the Lin Chi. This is also very important. How to eliminate the illusion inside our brain. The followers of the way, if you want to insight into Dharma as it is, just don't be taken in by the deluded views of others. Whatever you encounter, either within or without, slay it at once. So on meeting a Buddha, slay the Buddha. On meeting a patriarch, slay the patriarch. On the meeting an arhat, slay the arhat. Because they kill the arhat, kill the Buddha, kill the patriarch. Because that is just like an illusion created by your brain. So don't be trapped by your imaginary idea. So that is the actually this is also very famous saying. Okay, then I would like to summing up. I want to sum up this today's session again, understanding fundamental principle of Zen Buddhism. non-verbal communication should be emphasized. Accepting perception, perfection of the truth is that this universe itself, this world itself, uh, accept this world as fact, as an integrated contradiction, and abandoning deluded thinking, understanding with direct perception through the all senses, actualization of the truth in our daily behavior. We act as a Buddha. This is not based on the arrogance. This is based on the diligence, how to actualize the teaching of the Buddha on the earth. This is our responsibility, facing the reality, the suffering of our lives as it is. Yeah. This is the references. D.T. Suzuki essays in the Zen Buddhism, the reps, Zen flesh, Zen bones, Nathantic, Zen kids, and Nitobe, Bushido, the soul of Japan, and Miyamoto, Hagakure, the book of samurai, Miyamoto, the book of five rays, Aitken R, the great gateless barrier, Umen Kwan, Mumonkan. And I couldn't include these three books. The taming of the bull. Yeah, excuse me. Yes. Then the taming of the bull by Venerable Valpura Lafra Mahathir, available in Godage and Brothers. And Zen Bodhu Kata. This is written by Parsi Diamond. And this is also available in the, this is a Sarasa Potak. And this one, Japan Sen Kata, which is available, Susara Prakasha Kayo, Kayo. So, this is all books. All these three books are available in Sri Lanka. Okay, thank you very much. So my session is over. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend Sir. That was very interesting. For one thing, the Theravada, the Buddhism as we know it, and the Zen Buddhism seems to be one and the same thing, once explained, only that it has been, even the fundamental principles was very interestingly laid out. That was very impressive. The stories, to me, seem, once explained, very meaningful, but until explained, they seem a fairly severe sort of way of having explained the truth, but it is the fundamental truth is very much there, taught in a fairly severe sort of, through some severe lessons, as it were. But deep thinking is needed. Thank you very much, Bhante. I had heard that if you see the Buddha kill it, and when I first heard it, it sort of was a bit shocking. So the very next day, I think I was listening to another sutta, the Ratavinita Sutta, and that sort of explained to me, you don't sort of get to one step and see you are there, it goes on. So there is always a deep meaning, and they are fairly haunting the sayings. Thank you very much, Bhante, much merit. And I'm sure, Bhante, you would like to take questions. I'm sure there are. I hope there are. A large number have been participating. I'll open the floor then. Please unmute and ask your questions. Raise your hand or any questions, please.
Can I be permitted?
Yes, please, Sarath, go ahead.
So, first of all, thank you very much, Venerable Sir. I think you have prepared well, so I have seen the number of books that have been referring. So thank you very much for all your efforts to give us one of the best talks. So one of the things that is not a question but a comment, I really like the Zen story of which is called Buddha in a Dog. And I felt that I have read a similar Zen story where one villager was trying to relocate himself into another village and asking from village headmaster that whether the people in this village is good or bad. And in return, the village headman is also asking a question that what about your people? And he was saying that they are really bad. And the master is saying that the headman is saying that these people are also bad. And then again, another person came and asked the same question. And then the village headman asked the same question. But that person is saying that my people in the village is really good. And the master was saying that the headman is saying that these people are also really good. So I felt, Venerable Sir, that after listening to this Buddha's nature in a dog, in certain occasions the master has said yes, and certain occasions master has said no. So probably it may be a question that should not be asked, or which is not necessarily to be asked, or sometimes the answer depends on the attitudes of the individual towards that particular problem. So, and that is why, I think that's why the very reason that the Buddha was so silent when Vacchagotta asked all these list of questions. Because all the things, I feel that that's what actually the Zen is also all about. It's your attitude towards the way in which you see the thing. So I would like to give that my understanding also in that story. And you explain, Venerable Sir, those stories in a manner that we can continue to think. And as Madam also very correctly mentioned, that when we keep on thinking and when you're reading the other suttas also, we started realizing the true nature of Buddha's preaching. So Venerable Sir, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for giving me a very good comment. Thank you.
Yes, Anoja. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir, for that explanation, and also those very, very graphic examples you gave of the dialogues between the master and the student. Now,